with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com. We broadcast live on YouTube, on X, on Roku, and on Fire TV. I am your host, Andrew Romanella, wishing you a happy Easter, a day after for all of those that were celebrating over the weekend. Hope you had a happy and healthy holidays. If you're not one to celebrate Easter, I hope you just enjoyed your Saturday and Sunday. It was a good one. Saturday and Sunday that was, and not because the amount of eggs found in my Easter basket during our hunt. No, it was a great weekend because the amount of sports being played. You got 3 of the 4 major sports in full swing right now, plus golf is absolutely dialed after the Masters got the season kicked off some 2 weeks ago. And so every channel you turn, whether you're a streamer, you're using a satellite dish, you're on cable, don't matter. Any channel you flip to right now, you got something enjoyable to watch. And we're going to take you through some of what went on this weekend. Hey, if you want to get in on the action, it's The Rome Show 1, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, and 12OZ Sports. Those are the 2 social media handles to follow. You can get in on the action like our guy, Kai the goalie. Head to YouTube or X, and you can comment live on the show. Kai the goalie writes in, Magic in 5. Heard it here first. We will break down the NBA starting around 7:15, Kai. So make sure you stay with us. We didn't have a show Friday because we were trying to get ready for a weekend of family festivities. So haven't talked to you in about 4 days. Last time we chatted, this sign behind me said Rocky is here. Today it says he's not here, but that's okay because we're still going to break down his National Hockey League picks, something we didn't get a chance to give you over the Thursday show that we did together was the final picks for Rocky. So we'll do a combo here, okay? We're going to break down the first games across all of the National Hockey League series and give you the predictions from our resident hockey expert, the one and only Rocky Romanella. So we'll throw that theme music on right there for the people. And let's get into the Stanley Cup playoffs. They started on Saturday. We had 2 games on Saturday. It was the St. Louis Blues at the Winnipeg Jets, and it was the Colorado Avalanche at the Dallas Stars. The Jets, they used 3 in the third period to beat the streaking St. Louis Blues 5-3. Headed into the third, the St. Louis Blues had a 3-2 lead. Winnipeg tied this game with about 6 minutes left and then took the lead with about 2 minutes left on this Kyle Connor's goal. Check it out. Kyle Connor with 1:30 left in regulation gives the Winnipeg Jets the lead, and that gives the Winnipeg Jets the game number 1. Connor had 2 assists to go along with that game-winning goal. Shafiel also had 2 assists and a goal. On the flip side, the Colorado Avalanche, they ran through the Dallas Stars. They scored 2 in the second and 3 in the third, led by Nathan McKinnon's 2 goals and an assist. Mackenzie Blackwood, 23 saves on 24 attempted shots. Colorado takes the 1-0 lead on Dallas. If you remember correctly, on the Thursday, when we were breaking down the first round playoff series, Rocky noted how Mackenzie Blackwood is going to be the key in this Colorado Avalanche series. You then flip it to Saturday, and you get 3 games on Saturday, starting with the Carolina Hurricanes controlling pretty much all 60 minutes against the New Jersey Devils. They win 4-1. Stan Oakvin had 2 goals, was +1 on the day. Anderson for the Hurricanes, 23 saves on 24 shots. The Maple Leafs in the Battle of Ontario, they take down the Senators 6-2. Marner had a goal, Tavares had a goal, and Stolar saved 31 of a prospective 33 shots. The Maple Leafs, they controlled this game pretty much from the jump. They scored 2 goals in each the first, the second, and the third period to take a 1-0 series lead. Then in the late night session, it was the Vegas Golden Knights taking down the Minnesota Wild by a score of 4-2. Howden, he had 2 goals in this contest. For the Minnesota Wild, Boley had 2 goals, but it wasn't enough as the Golden Knights scored in all 3 periods, 2 in the third, to secure that 1-0 victory. Tonight, you'll have the start of the Canadiens and the Capitals series and the start of the Oilers and the Kings series, a 4-year running battle, what feels like in the first round of the postseason. And then you'll have games 2 for St. Louis and for St. Louis, Winnipeg, and Colorado and Dallas. If you're wondering what you should be thinking over the rest of the postseason, here is the schedule for the Stanley Cup. Now, I'm going to read to you what Rocky's picks were. I want to make sure I get these to you before we get too deep in this thing, and then you tell me we were lying. He has St. Louis over Winnipeg in the top left corner. Then he has Colorado over Dallas. He has Vegas over Minnesota, and then he has the Los Angeles Kings taking down the Edmonton Oilers in the bottom half of that bracket. He then has the Vegas Golden Knights defeating the Winnipeg Jets in the Western Conference Finals to head to the Stanley Cup. On the Eastern side, he's got the Ottawa Senators losing to the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's got the Lightning beating the Panthers, the Caps over the Canadiens, and the Hurricanes over the Devils. He then has the Maple Leafs and the Hurricanes getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, with the Toronto Maple Leafs defeating the Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Final. Rocky is a believer in the Las Vegas Golden Knights versus the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Golden Knights taking home Lord's Stanley's Cup. So that is your breakdown in the National Hockey League for day 1, day 2, and the start of day 3 as we get trending towards the real meat and potatoes of this postseason. A lot of people say it. Oftentimes people say the National Hockey League is the best postseason out of all 4 major sports. And I think it's a multitude of things. The first thing is the nature of hockey is just different than all other major sports. Look no further than Alexander Ovechkin scoring his 895th career goal to pass Wayne Gretzky. When you watch the video of Alexander Ovechkin breaking the goal scoring record, what you should notice is not just the individual celebration from Alexander Ovechkin. No, what you should notice is how deeply excited literally every single person on the Washington Capitals team is for Alexander Ovechkin. What you should notice is an individual award is turned into a major team celebration with Alexander Ovechkin and the all-time goal scoring number, because that's the fabric of the National Hockey League. That's the foundation of the sport of hockey. There is something in the water that makes those guys so team-oriented first that when you put the ultimate on the line, which to these men is winning Lord Stanley's Cup, you're going to get the best version of both themselves and the sport. And consistently, hockey lives up to its excitement in the postseason. And so you couple right now it being one of the best periods of the history of the game, both from a talent standpoint and a parity standpoint. You combine that with the fact that from the jump, it's the most exciting postseason. It is a fun time. It is a fun time. And if you're not a big hockey fan, now's your time to take a look. Now's your time to watch because it is enjoyable. And the postseason is the best version of the National Hockey League. Hey, on the other side, you got the NBA, who personally, I think this has been some of the most fun National Basketball Association I've ever watched, both in the regular season and the postseason. I feel like you have talent all over the place. I feel like for the first time, I could genuinely believe and see a 7 seed, a 6 seed beating a 2 or a 3 seed. You have that start. You had a 7 seed winning last night in the Golden State Warriors, and you had a 6 seed winning the day before in the Minnesota Timberwolves. And that, to me, now makes this thing a whole lot more fun. The point of the play-in tournament was to elongate the talent in the National Basketball Association and to cause less top stack in terms of who's going to win and who's going to have the chance. Think about how many times in the history of the NBA you've gotten into the first round of the postseason and you're like, this is almost not even worth it. I believe that the gentleman's sweep was derived from the NBA because of how easy it was to go 1 seed beats 8 seed, 2 seed beats 7 seed. And maybe a few times here and there, a 6 can get a 3. But for the most part, it was not a parity-driven league. It's a top-stacked league. Well, this year, it's the exact opposite. First off, some of the best players in the league were in the play-in tournament. Secondly, you have 2 teams that are at the top of both conferences that have never really been there before. Cleveland one time, and arguably the best player in the world had to bring them there. And Oklahoma City one time, who arguably had a 3-headed monster that is probably all Hall of Famers when their careers are all said and done, and they still couldn't get it done in that time period. You have a lot of unknown and a lot of length in the National Basketball Association. So this postseason, which has already started off hot, I think is going to be the most fun postseason you've witnessed in probably at least the last 10 years. We're going to break that down when we get back from this commercial break. We'll take you through the first 2 days of the NBA playoffs. We'll get you ready for the rest of those first round series. And then we got weekend top plays for the people. And plus, I promise you some golf. We got that as well. It's Andrew Romanella on a Monday, April 21st, 2025, the day after he has risen. And we are having a great time. Hopefully you rose with us today on the Rome Show back after this.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Yeah, it is. On a Monday. Yeah, it is. On a Monday. Oh, we just said that. Andrew Romanella, you the people, 12OZ Sports. Hope you're having a blast. It's 7:21 on this Monday morning, the day after Easter. Get in on the action, 12OZ Sports at YouTube or X. You can follow the social media, The Rome Show 1. That's The Rome Show, the number 1. Or this gigantic sign behind me, 12OZ Sports. That is the mothership. We're taking you through day 1 and 2 of the NBA and the NHL postseasons. It has been enjoyable. We were talking NBA before the break. We popped the theme music on and we get a little bit back into it. And Edwards, he led Minnesota over the Los Angeles Lakers. He had some things to say before this game. Nothing crazy, but he said he's just tired of everyone picking the Lakers. Well, he put on a show. 117 to 195. The Minnesota Timberwolves outscored the Lakers in the second quarter by 18 points, 38 to 20, and that was a huge difference in this contest. Jaden McDaniels, 25 points. Anthony Edwards, 22 points. Naz Reid, 23 points. And Julius Randle, 16 points. The contribution from the Timberwolves was gigantic. Not only that, but they also used 43 bench points, including the 23 from Naz Reid, to outplay the Lakers. The Lakers bench only 13 points. A real question mark in this series for the Lakers is how deep did they go? The Minnesota Timberwolves exploited that in game number 1. The New York Knickerbockers, they used a 21-0 run in the fourth quarter to outpace the Detroit Pistons 123-112. The fourth quarter scoring was 40 New York, 21 Detroit, and that was the difference maker. By the way, Jalen Brunson did not start this game very well. He was like 2 of 13 or something like that from the field, while he finished 12 of 27, so essentially over 50% for the back end of this contest. He had 34 points. OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns both added 23 points, but the big difference was Cam Payne. Cam Payne had 14 points off the bench on 5 of 7 from the field. 9 or 11, something like that, of his points came during that 21-0 Knickerbockers run. So they take a 1-0 series lead. The Nuggets, they outlasted the Clippers in overtime, 112-110. A huge, you're not gonna believe when I say this, a huge defensive play from Russell Westbrook seals the deal for the Denver Nuggets, who only play 3 deep off of their bench. But one of those is Russell Westbrook at 34 minutes, 15 points, and 8 rebounds. That is a luxury. Remember, this is a former league MVP, averaged a triple-double for an entire season coming off your bench. But I don't know if it's going to be enough for this Denver Nuggets team. I think the Clippers ultimately win this series, but it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out brawl. The Clippers, 5 players in double figures, led by James Harden with 30. And then finally on day number 1, the Pacers, they slaughtered the Bucks 117-98. Pascal Siakam led the way for the Pacers with 25 points. The Pacers, they had a dominant second quarter to really kind of take control of this game, outscoring the Bucks 34-18. Any Doc Rivers led team I don't believe in, but we'll see if the Bucks can turn it around. Then on Sunday, a 4 slate pack of games, okay? The Thunder, they absolutely hammered the Memphis Grizzlies 139-80. I mean, this wasn't even a game. A few different highlights coming to you from this game on the weekend top plays, but the Thunder, they had 6 different scorers in double figures. This is a really, really good basketball team. Not your Kevin Durant Oklahoma City Thunder. I actually think, though less known names on this team, deeper and more dangerous. The Celtics, they beat the Mavericks 103-86 behind Derek White's 7 3-pointers and 30 total points. So for any questions you had about the Celtics, at least on day 1, they answered the bell hey, we are here. We're ready to play. Same with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They had a little bit of a scare there for a little bit with the Miami Heat. The Heat led this game at halftime by 3 points. But Cleveland went off in the second half, specifically the fourth quarter, outscoring the Heat by 13 points. Donovan Mitchell, he had 30 points to lead the way for the Cavs, who go up 1-0 in that series. And then finally, 7-seed Golden State defeats 2-seeded Houston. I think the Rockets are a little bit over their toes here, and this is where the Western Conference is so deep, because this is a 52-win team in the 2 spot, and a 48-win team that had to play in the play-in tournament with Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, and I'm drawing a blank, Draymond Green. 3, again, potential Hall of Famers. So this is not going to be a cakewalk for Houston, but you'd be surprised. Golden State did this on the defensive side. They held the Rockets to under 26 points in all 4 quarters, but better yet, 21 in the first and 13 in the second. The Rockets only scored 34 total points in the first half, okay? Jimmy Butler put into this Golden State Warriors team dangerous, really freaking dangerous. And I think you're going to see this Golden State Warriors team take a run deep into the postseason. That is day number 1 and 2 of the NBA postseason. That continues again tonight as well. Locked on tonight, you got 2 more games. It's the Pistons at Knicks, 7:30 p.m. on TNT, and then following that on TNT is the Clippers at the Nuggets. One more highlight I want to give you before we get to the weekend top plays. The RBC Heritage happened yesterday or over the weekend, and Justin Thomas got his first victory on the PGA Tour in the last 3 years. His last championship came in May of 22, which was the PGA Championship. Despite what you might realize, I did not realize this, that was Justin Thomas's 16th career victory on the PGA Tour. The first 4-5 years of his career, Justin Thomas was off the charts good. And the last 2.5 years has been a real struggle. Had a child about 5 months ago, has been since married in that time. You never know what that does to a person. Good things to me, at least. And Justin Thomas back in the winner's circle at the RBC Heritage. He had to win a playoff, had to make some big putts to win that playoff, but he did just that to get back into the winner's circle. He is now ranked number 6 in the world golfing rankings. All right, let's put that theme music back on, because it is time for your weekend top plays. Ladies and gentlemen, we will start with our number 5. We head to Citi Field for the New York Metropolitans and the St. Louis Cardinals. And Brandon Nimmo goes back, robbed. The left fielder for the Mets takes away a potential home run. And the beautiful timed leap, and Brandon Nimmo doing it for the Metropolitans, who are doing it for themselves, by the way. Currently leading the NL East with a 15-7 record. They are 7-3 in their last 10, won 4 straight, including sweeping the St. Louis Cardinals. We go to numero 4. We are headed to the hardwood, where we go to Oklahoma City. Slam. Beautiful from the Thunder. 2 plays. That was back-to-back right there, ladies and gentlemen. You saw the score on that, 63-28. They demolished the Memphis Grizzlies. We move on. 3. Number 3, it's that JT. But listen to this.
Going to move from his left to right the entire way.
Leave no doubt, Justin Thomas. He's our number 3 play of the weekend. We go back to the frozen tundra. They take the first game of the series 1-0. But ladies and gentlemen, that is not your number 1 play. What is a compilation of plays, because we have all 21 points from the New York Knicks. Comeback victory against the Detroit Pistons. And I want to play the whole minute for you right now as your
Number 1.
plays of the weekend.
Mikey recognizes it was Karl-Anthony Towns in front of him. He could get by easily.
Payne, this time with the right hand, counted and a foul. Brunson calling for a screen. Got Harris on him. Crossover. Gets inside. The floater's up and goes. Tough shot from Brunson.
And now we're just getting
Rebounding numbers in this one, +2 for Detroit. Brunson the crossover. Brunson the drive. Flips it up. It's good. And a
He's
foul.
too good.
A circus shot from Jalen Brunson.
People are going wild at
A
MSG.
2-point lead.
Patrick Ewing.
Brunson spins. Brunson drives. Back up top to Payne.
Step back.
Payne puts up a three. Bang! Cameron Payne from downtown. And the lead is
Feeling it.
5. The most points the Pistons scored in that series was Duran hands off Cunningham. Looking for
Defense
some room.
again.
Knocked away by Towns in the steal. Towns to Hart to Brunson. Lays it up. And Anunoby picks it up.
Oh, we're not done.
Hart on the drive. Hart inside. Banks it home.
And by the way, the best part about this New York Knickerbockers scoring 21 straight, winning game number 1 of the series, is if you look at the numbers, and everyone's hard on Tom Thibodeau, look at the numbers. Here are the minutes played in game number 1. Mikal Bridges, 29. Josh Hart, 30. Jalen Brunson, 40. Karl-Anthony Towns, 39. So he got them 8 to 10 minutes of rest. He played 4 deep. 4 dudes off the bench played 10 or more minutes. The bench scored 22 points. If you're a New York Knicks fan, you got to be amped about that, because all people have done is hammer Tom Thibodeau about how he uses his bench. And I'll tell you what, in game number 1, it looked like he had the right play for his bench. Those are your weekend top plays, ladies and gentlemen. My favorite segment of the week. Let's finish here with some other people's favorite segments. If I'm winning, that's right. It's your bananas, and it is the end of our show. Here's the deal. I got the aforementioned Knicks at the -6.5 tonight, and then I got both Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns 20+ points apiece. Those are my daily picks for the people. That has been the Rome Show here on 12 OZ Sports. We hope you had a blast. I had a blast. We're back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. joined by Rocky Romanella in his normal slot to talk NHL postseason and so much more. Andrew Romanella telling you to have an electric day. And until tomorrow, peace.
Thank you for listening.